demonstrating day with these. Now this is another landmark in Chicago. It's the Buckingham Fountain in our Grant Park. I think the Queen of England gave us this. But anyways, I was trying to catch it, but in 3D from a distance. That's why I used the post there. Then I moved closer, and I just kind of hung around as these Sedgway people came by and children popped in. And I just hung around and took shots, hoping to catch it just right. Usually outdoor attractions like this draw crowds like this was doing, but getting them posed the way you want them is another story. They were all kind of staying over to one side, and they were taking their own pictures, and I'm standing there trying to get the background, the skylight, and the fountain all in, plus them. Well, then finally they started to move over into the center, and it started to get a little better, but I never did get exactly the picture I wanted, but they were all pretty good 3D shots, and again, you get the closer up objects highlight the 3D and so that you can show the farther objects in the scene. Now in this series of scenes, I have this nice picturesque building with the canopies sticking out, nice angles for the 3D, but nobody's in the picture. And then the crowds started to come. This is Michigan Avenue in Chicago, so I just stayed right where I was and kept snapping away as they came by. This one, they were still a little too far away. This was better. The couple was up closer. Unfortunately, I cut their legs off. But had they been over to the right, that wouldn't have happened. This one, again, was better. This couple of gentlemen are right in the front of the shot, bringing out the 3D nicely. And this one is, again, cutting off the legs like I did in the prior one. Not real happy with that. This, I think, was my best shot because there were layers, what I call layers of 3D. The lady in the right, white is in front. The girl in the black on the right. The gentleman and his child. And another layer, and more layers, and more layers, and more layers. That was just a really nice shot, and I'm very proud of that shot. I'm trying to capture the 3D, in 3D, the Disney store on Michigan Avenue in Chicago. And so I stood behind these planters and took the picture there, but that didn't really work. So I got a little closer, and I didn't feel like that worked either. So I kind of gave up on that and shifted over to an angular shot behind the foliage. Beautiful foliage in front of these stores. I really particularly like that foliage on the right, the leaves sticking out. But I took a couple of those shots and I felt it was just too far away. So I wasn't really going to get the 3D even if the crowds came by the way I wanted it. So I moved a little closer, as you see in this scene, and that worked. And I was able to now position myself for more shots. The two ladies in the foreground with their backs turned towards me were bringing out the 3D. Now it was just a matter of getting the people to walk by. But that didn't happen for a while, and I didn't have all day to sit there. So I took this shot, and then I decided to just move in closer and try and take something right in front of the store. What's up? I kind of lucked out because this couple stood there for a moment, and I could use them to bring out the 3D, and then other people walked behind them. So I got this a pretty nice shot, and then this one. So I was pretty happy with those two. After that, they moved on, and so I wasn't able to catch as many people in front of the store, and as you can see in this photo, didn't work out too well. This one was better. It had more activity in it, and I was kind of happy with this one. This one worked out okay, but it didn't last long, and as they left, it just got very sparse, and this was the best that I could do in front of Disney, so I finally quit taking shots there. Now in this shot, I stood on the sidewalk and caught these two lovely ladies standing there chit-chatting, and I kind of hoped they'd turn my way, walk towards me, and I'd catch a good shot of them in 3D, but they didn't. So I ended up going over into the bushes and taking another shot of them, and then just taking some shots of people as they came by, hoping to get a crowd of them, get a nice 3D shot. These turned out okay, but because of the canopy, it kind of darkened everybody, and so none of them turned out that well, and I really wasn't too happy with those shots. So I moved to the other side of the store where it was brighter, and I began taking photos there. But unfortunately, it just seemed like almost everybody had their back towards me. And this can happen when you're taking candids of crowds. It's like they just, for some reason, they just all have their back towards you. So I just kept snapping away, hoping they'd turn towards me. The nice thing about the Fujifilm camera is that nobody even realizes you're taking photos for a website. Here, a gentleman turned my way, and there was a lady with her back towards us that brought out the 3D. The car, that was a pretty decent shot. The Fujifilm is a point and shoot. Here they are all back again. One girl in the distance coming our way. It's a point and shoot, and so it just looks like any other camera unless you look closely at it and see that it has a double aperture. This turned out pretty decent, even though everybody's turned the other way. This one girl walking this way, rather pretty, makes the photo, in my opinion. So with the Fujifilm, you can kind of hide in the crowds. They think you're just a tourist. I don't want to become too redundant and boring, but again, a shot across the street, too far away, and it has to be fixed by taking a shot of people up close with the same scene in the background. That's the way you solve that problem. Now this is a wide street. You really couldn't stand in the middle of it without getting killed. So that's the only solution I could think of. Here I tried to solve the distance solution by shooting with my favorite trick, going through the foliage. It didn't really work. The car helped a little, but in came these people, and that made a huge difference. So sometimes you need everything you've got to cover that distance. Again, same problem, wide street, distance shot, people in the distance. But this time it was solved with the arrival of a sport car, a nice sports car, kind of right in the middle of the scene, brought out the 3D. And then this scene, again, a crowd of automobiles solved the problem. The convertible, the car with the bike on the back, all made it 3D. Now, this street scene was I believe was just very nicely framed with the two trees and the beautiful foreground of the garden. But it just didn't have enough people when I first took it. So I stood there a minute, and sure enough, a crowd showed up and finished the photo off. Now this photo I just happened to snap it when this family, I think it was all coming across the street at once. And it really made the shot. I mean, without that family there, it was just too distant. Now this shot was taken about 7 o'clock in the evening. It was starting to get dark. Didn't want to miss it. But I wanted to get the whole restaurant in and the sign. And I just happened to catch the street sign as well, which helped the 3D. I asked this friend of mine to pose for it, but he didn't. He was kind of wooden, and he didn't move forward enough. But it was about as good as I can get and get everything in. Now here I'm trying to get the Tiffany building across the street. So I decided to put all the street signs right in the middle of it to bring out the 3D, locate where it's located, and so on. Plus it had a little bit of green at the bottom and the couple people standing there. It kind of turned out. Now this shot is a kind of a 3D shot that someone like me who's taking candids just lucks into. It just all worked. Look at all the characters in here. The child, the man pushing the stroller, the lady looking at her phone, couple in front. I mean, just full of couples, the awning sticking out. Wonderful 3D shot. Now here's another interesting shot that I just happened to catch. Two lovely ladies coming out of the fur store, just exuberant over their day, just made this shot. Here's this flat building, flat storefront, and these two just beautiful women make the shot. I wish I'd been just a little closer, but it was a good 3D shot in my opinion. Well, after taking that shot, I kind of hung around, considering my good fortune, and sure enough, the lovely lady, very delicately and femininely walks across the street to the Kenneth Cole shop and just makes the picture. Here, there's just a plain old scene, Kenneth Cole with a sidewalk going under the street, and this lovely lady offsetting it. Again, another wonderful 3D picture I was thrilled with. Now here I'm taking a picture of the Gucci store, which of course construction is going on when I'm down there, and it's just wrecking the shot. But I take it from the angle, and this lovely lady comes walking into the shot and makes the picture. The luck of a person who takes candids. It's just once in a while you get them. This lady just reeks of Gucci. I mean, she's just perfect for it. I couldn't have asked for a better shot. With her there, you don't even notice the construction on the left. Well, we're almost done. I wanted to finish off by showing you this photo and one more behind it, wherein the subject is wrapped in 3D. Just wrapped in 3D. This gentleman is a cook at a restaurant nearby. I came in and took a shot of him just with everything in the background. It's an amazing 3D shot. I love it. It's the kind of thing that really makes 3D other than out of screen. The same for this one. This is a friend of mine. He posed for this. Beautiful shot. He's wrapped in 3D. He's down at the end of it. It's a beautiful 3D shot. I'm very proud of this shot. Turned out beautifully. And other than out of screen, this is the way 3D should be done. So that's it, folks. That's what I had to say. I want to just teach you the things I've learned about taking in screen 3D shots. I hope you look at my other videos. My FIST video where I show you how far out 3D can come, and my out-of-screen shots, and then the introduction to 3D and the Piku 3D that's available from startthreed.com. Piku will show on your screen with no glasses. Not as good as these, but pretty decent 3D. Thank you, folks.